So, hey everyone, welcome to our webinar on how to build a culture that employees love. My name is Suchil and I lead product marketing at Pajama HR. Pajama HR is a free applicant tracking system that is designed keeping in mind the pain points of the HRs. And today we have Sakshi Malhotra with us. She is the senior manager HR at Masai School, who brings over 7 years of HR experience. She is here to share valuable insights and strategies on how to create a positive and engaging work environment. So let's just get started. During the webinar, if you have any questions, please raise your hand and we'll let you talk. Okay, Sakshi can start.
Good. Thank you so much for the kind introduction, Suchil, and thank you, Pajama HR, for organizing this webinar. Because not many companies think about culture these days. It's more about get shit done work culture. Let me just quickly share a presentation with all of you. But before that, I would actually want this webinar to be more interactive. Just like Sujal said, right? Please feel free to raise your hand or type your questions or your answers. I'll be asking you a lot of questions, let me tell you. So please feel free to write your answers on the chat box. I'm just quickly sharing my screen. Let me know if it is visible. Sujal, is my presentation visible? Okay, just a second. Sure. So today's topic, very interesting topic, how to build a culture that employees love. We as HR people, no matter how much we try to build a culture that the company is expecting, it is actually a very hard task to do so. But let's go one by one. Can any one of you tell me what is culture? What do you understand by the term culture? You can write your answers in the chat box.
You can also raise your hand if you want to talk.
Yeah, it's a way of life. Any other person who would want to answer it, that what is culture? So, sir, can you read the answers for me? I think if I am opening it, it's the way we treat people, values, correct? Ideas, customs, behaviors.
Yeah, correct. The way an organization works.
Correct. I think somebody typed in Q&A. Culture denotes mainly about on uniform forum regardless of diversified people. Okay. So let me simplify it for all of you, right? Company culture is a set of values and behaviors that contribute to the unique atmosphere of a company. For example, that if I am believing in one value, is the other person who's my peer or my colleague, does he or she believe in the same value or not? And it consists of a lot of things, right? The company's mission, the vision, and how employees are treated, which is like a major factor in understanding how the company culture is. Company culture can be positive or negative, right? We hear a lot of people speaking about, no, I don't want to go to that company because the culture is not good. No, I want to work for that particular company, even if they pay me less, because the culture is great. I would want to work for a company where the culture is great, right? So ultimately what happens is a company culture reflects the company's values. What are the values the company stands on? Now, the next question for all of you is, since you guys are so generous in answering my question, why is a strong company culture important? Now we understand that what is culture, right? Why is it important? It is respect. Okay. Any other answers? I can see 38 people apart from me and Suchit. Okay, retaining of talent, correct. Because it
helps work ethics.
Motivate organization development, retaining, correct. For smooth operation and alignment of personal and organization growth. Amandeep, absolutely right. Okay, so why is the strong company culture important, correct? See, we can, if a company does not have a solid culture, right, regardless of talent or resources, it will fail. Because what makes a company? We are the people who makes any company, right? Any company is built by the employees that work in it. Otherwise, the company is nothing. If you look at bigger companies or MNCs, you'll notice that the culture is a common thread. These businesses have had a clear vision that how do they want to represent their brands? What message do they want to send out in the outside world? Right? And they trust their employees. They trust that each of their employees inculcate the same values that the company believes in. This is why a strong company culture should be a priority for any business. It's the foundation that will help you attract and retain top talent. Somebody said that it's good for retention. It inspires creativity and innovation, and it promotes a positive workplace environment. I think Rahul wants to speak something, Suchar.
Hello, hello. Am
Yes,
I
sir.
audible?
Yes.
I think one of the importance to create a strong company culture, is by fostering a sense of community among the employees.
Correct.
Encourage them to participate in team building activities, provide them opportunities for them to collaborate on projects. And when the employees will feel like they are a part of a community, they will be more likely to feel connected to their company, and eventually that will promote the principle of collective responsibility among the members of the company.
Absolutely, Rahul. Actually, this was something that I was about to cover, that we have to build a community to ensure that the culture is built for a company. If the employees do not feel part of that particular community, we cannot create a strong culture
Yes.
or a foundation in a company.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Rahul.
Yeah.
So, how do we inculcate this culture, right? We have spoken about what is culture, why is culture important, but we have to start. What is the starting point of building that culture? So, I don't think it's not the way that you hire someone and then put it there in their head that these are our values and you have to follow them. Correct? So, company culture starts with hiring. Hiring people who are a good match for your company's belief. Hire individuals who share your culture. That one person, if the thinking aligns, that is when it's a culture fit for the company. When you're recruiting your employees, make sure that they share your company's values and would be a good cultural fit. You'll be seeing a lot of companies these days who have a mandatory culture fitment round. That's because they want to build a culture in their company that all employees love and are aligned to. This will help ensure that they are most likely to be engaged in their work, right? If I have some values and the company have the same values, then values align, and I'll be more interested in working towards the end goal. And somebody rightly mentioned before in the chat that it will also help in reducing the turnover rates, the attrition risks. When you're trying to grow your business, it's critical, right? Even we as HR professionals, even if a person is not 100% culture fit, we do hire them sometimes, because you can't find all of those values in 100 people that you're hiring, right? And the hiring targets are huge these days, by the way. So there are three qualities that you can look for in the potential candidates who can understand your company values. One is transparency, the other is accountability, and the third one is perseverance. If these three qualities are there in any individual, they can align to any organizational value that you can imagine or think of. Any questions here? Anyone who agrees, disagrees, any other points that I might have missed? Cool, so I'll move. Now, interesting question for all of you again, how to build a culture that employees love. I know that this is the topic of the webinar today, but I would want to hear your thoughts. What do you think can be done to build the culture that a company wants? Okay, somebody has written something. Lead by example, Manjuna, correct? Any other answers? Keep involving people. Parvati, absolutely correct. I see 44 people on the call. Either they are just listening to what I'm saying or they've just logged in for the sake of logging in. Keep engaging people. Parvati, yes, that's what I'm trying to do right now. Keep encouraging people, correct?
I think Rahul wants to speak.
Yeah.
Hello, hi ma'am. Sorry to interrupt you again.
Yes, Rahul.
I'm saying that we can build a strong culture in our company, which is often reflected in the company's values and how the employees are being treated, creating a positive environment, and by
Correct.
encouraging the feedback from the employees, I think we can.
Absolutely. You have covered most of the points, Rahul, but let me start with what is the starting point of building that culture, right? We talked about how can we make sure that the employees are aligned, which is like doing culture fitment rounds while hiring. Now, how do we build a culture that employees love? Once the employee enters into the organization, how do you make sure that they are loving their work environment? The first step to that is company values. Every company should have defined number of company values, their core values that they are, that they want to stand for. Like whatever happens to the business, either it grows or it does not grow, they should be sure of what are they standing for, what are their beliefs, what are their priorities, right? Once that is decided, employees need to feel that they are working towards something they believe in. Say, I am working in a company whose mission and vision and values I believe in. One of the values at Masai is that we are caring and empathetic. And I believe that it is a great, great value because one of the things that are missing in the world today is empathy. Correct? So, how do we build that culture? We start with building our values. If I don't believe in one of the values that my company has, I would not feel engaged and will likely leave, right? I won't enjoy it because we are not aligned. So we should be aligned with the company value. As I said, we should align with the company values. If they don't, your employees may feel uncomfortable and unhappy at work, which is a short thing. Good. The next thing that is important now that we have defined values, what is our company vision? What is the end goal of the company? What is it that the company wants to achieve? And how do they want to achieve it? Right? If I don't know that what is it that Masai wants to achieve today, I would feel unimportant and lost because I don't know what is my contribution in reaching there. So company vision is also very, very important in building the culture that employees work. The company's vision should be clear and concise. Like it should know that what do they want to reach and what do they want to achieve in the journey. It should be easy for employees to understand because if I can't understand the vision of my company, I can never explain it to any other person outside. The third point, which is very, very important, is employee experience. Rahul, now your point came here that employee experience is something really, really important to ensure that the culture is built nicely. Employees need to have a very good experience at work in order to be productive and happy. They need a positive workplace culture that makes them feel valued and appreciated. If I am not valued and appreciated at any place, I would probably leave, right? I love my self-respect. I love the respect that is coming my way. So I'll tell you some ways to create great employee experience, and I would want all of you to add to it because these are some things that I could only think of. Offer great benefits to employees. Obviously, everyone wants great benefits, no doubt about it, and I don't think it needs explanation. Create a positive work environment. encourage employee feedback. Very, very important, because employees are not, someone who you can just tell what to do. Take feedback from them. Is it something, so that to make them feel involved in the process, right? So that they feel that they are a part of an organization who values them, who hears them out, who listens to them. Celebrate successes, bigger or smaller. Please celebrate successes. Provide training and development opportunities. If I can't grow in an organization, I'll probably leave. I would request you all, if you can add to what I've mentioned. Okay, somebody has written, by providing a work-life balance culture to give the employees to show what they have done, promoting the principle of collective responsibility. Correct? Anyone else who has any comments? Inclusion. Thank you. I am moving on to my next point, which is create a strong community. Again, as we discussed earlier, right? If I don't feel a part of a community, if I don't feel that I can come to work and participate in talking to other people, collaborate with different teams, I'll most likely be disengaged, right? So to build a culture which is very, very employee friendly, we have to make sure that we are socializing with each other outside of work, participating in team building activities, provide opportunities to collaborate on projects. I might be interested in doing something in marketing, so my organization should be open to give me that opportunity. Create a culture of continuous learning. This also somebody mentioned earlier. If I don't feel that my organization is encouraging me to improve myself in something, I would probably not continue for longer. The best way to build a culture that employees love is to show them that you care for them. If you don't care for them, it's not gonna work out. Make sure that your employees don't feel left out. Listen to them, listen to their feedback, and try being honest and open with them. Make an effort to know them on a personal level if possible. And here I don't mean that just dive into their personal life. I mean that try to understand their personality. This will show that you care for them, right? Ask them, how are they feeling today? What is it that, is there something that they want to talk about? Are they feeling happy, or are they feeling sad? Are they in a good mood to work? Do they want to talk about something else? Just asking these simpler questions can make the culture and the employee experience really, really good. I think Aisha wants to speak something. I'll pause for a bit. Hey Aisha, I think you are on mute if you're trying to speak. I don't think Aisha is speaking, but okay. I'll move on. Aisha, okay, she has unmuted herself. Aisha, we can't hear you. Well, I'll move on. Aisha, what we can do is you can type it in the chat box because there's some issue. Make employee well-being a priority. Very, very important. When employees feel like their companies care about their well-being, they'll be more likely to be loyal and engaged in their work. For example, mental wellness, you will be seeing a lot of companies are providing mental wellness to their employees these days because they care for their work-life balance. And especially in startups, right? It gets very, very hectic at times. So providing them flexible working hours, access to wellness programs, competitive benefit packages, this can obviously lead to a better employee culture. Create a positive environment. It is the key to employee happiness. No matter if we talk about it or not talk about it, team members should feel appreciated and supported. They'll feel happier if they are able to collaborate and build relationships with one another. Sorry, I moved on, but Aisha said hi. Aisha, please type what you want to say. I really want to hear. Offer competitive benefits. I've used that term multiple times, throughout this presentation. But what does it actually mean? It means that first of all, to attract and retaining top talent, we have to offer such things. Uh, if you are from the HR background and working in Bangalore, you would know the scenario of the tech talent in Bangalore, because it's very difficult to get them on board. So health insurance, dental coverage, paid time off are some of the examples that can be offered to them. Promote work-life balance. They need time to relax and recharge outside of work, and all of us need that. It's not about employees or HR doing something for the employees. It's the company's responsibility to promote work-life balance, offer flexible working hours and remote working options. Now that it's very easy to work remotely, this will allow employees to manage their workloads more effectively. Company culture don'ts. Some of the things very simple, like you will say that what is Sakshi doing here? She's just teaching her what should be taught in our schools. But trust me, this is not being followed in today's work culture. Some of the company culture don't encourage employees to work through lunch. Let them have their lunch peacefully. Don't ask them that this is urgent, that is urgent. Understand that they need time to relax. Don't reschedule one-on-ones. One-on-ones are very important, very important. I'm emphasizing it because that's the only chance for an employee to talk their heart out. It can be either between a manager and their direct report. It can be between a manager and the founder. It can be between an HR or an employee. Anyone, please don't reschedule one-on-one. Make it a priority. Talk to them, and you don't always have to talk about work, right? Don't always talk about work. Talk about how are they feeling, what is happening in their life, what are their hobbies. I don't know how many people here can claim that they know everyone at their organization. So focus on one-on-one. Don't make it easy for disengaged employees to stick around. See, as HR people, we have to take some tough calls, right? If it's like a rotten apple in a basket. If somebody is disengaged and you have tried your best to retain them or do everything that is possible, don't wait for them. Don't make it easy for them to stick around. Take hard decisions. Please ask them to leave. Don't limit learning opportunities to job descriptions. Absolutely very necessary. We are in a fast-paced environment in the field of startups. We cannot limit ourselves to our job descriptions. I think Suchal would be the best example for this, and Pajama HR would be the best example for this, because I heard Suchal was in HR before and now she's into marketing.
Yes,
So
that's true.
I think you like the culture at Pajama HR, right,
Yes,
Suchal?
the learning growth and all of that, and that's very important in any organization.
Absolutely. So don't limit learning opportunities. Let everyone take risks. What the worst that can happen is we'll fail. At least one of us will fail, right? But the company will stand tall. Don't tolerate poor managers. Please don't. If the manager is not right, and I'm saying it from the point of view of an organization as well, and from the point of view of an employee as well. If the manager is not doing his job right, please give feedback. If you are a direct report, please give feedback to your manager. And I don't just barge into a room and just throw them out. I am saying that please give them feedback politely. And if you are someone who are from a managerial level or a senior level, please ask them to leave the organization, because it's not going to work out. Don't expect HR to do all of the work. Start taking responsibility. Build a culture, and building a culture is not an HR's responsibility, right? The HR can ensure that things are in place, but as the core of this entire webinar is that employees make the culture at a company. So don't expect HR to come into you and barge you that this is not how our culture is, that is not our culture is. The way you behave will make the culture. don't force it. If somebody is not understanding the company values, vision, mission statement, or if they are not happy, don't force it, because it will work for a shorter period of time, but it will not work in the long run. Well, I'm moving on. Building a company culture is not an easy task. Trust me, it's very, very difficult. It's hours and months of hard work of the management, of the founders, of everyone. Takes time, effort, commitment to define company values. And it should be simple. It's not that you can make 50 things as your company values. There has to be only 5 things that you believe in. It is worth it in the long run, right? If you build a company culture, your organization will become a unicorn in no time. Cool. I think people are what makes a company, and happy people will always lead to a successful company. I've been saying it since the start of this webinar. I'll want to emphasize on it again. And which brings me to questions. Any questions anyone has? I think Q&A out there. Investing in employees group. I'll just stop my screen share. I would want to hear from everyone else that what is it that we can do to build a culture that employees love. Like, what is it one thing that, yeah, Rahul wants to speak.
Hello.
Yes, Rahul.
Hi, ma'am. I was like you said that what we can do. I think, ma'am, we need to focus more on building human capital rather than making it as a human resource. That we can do, like converting our human resource to human capital for the maximum and the efficient utilization of the employees.
What I believe, Rahul, is all human resources are human capital. We are not using them right. Each one of us is an asset. Each one of us are growing, each one of us are learning along the way. And all of us make mistakes, right? Even if you say a founder makes mistakes at a lot of times. So I think every one of us is a human capital. We just don't treat each of us as, assets. We treat us as employees. Cool. I think there are a couple of questions in the chat box.
Amandeep Kaur is asking, can you please re-explain the point, don't reschedule one-on-ones?
Yes, sure. Amandeep, so one-on-ones are really, really important to build a company culture. If my manager is not doing a one-on-one discussion with me, or my founder is not checking up on me every once in a while, I'll not feel included. I'll not feel that I'm being heard. What are the ways there to hear me out, right? To have one-on-ones with my direct manager or with my founder. It should be an environment of open communication, is what I want to say. The knowledge that they have, please allow them to showcase that. Correct, Rinki, I agree. People will say HR job is thankless job. Wanted to know from you if the perception has changed now. I think, okay, Neha also wants to speak, but let me answer Parvati. Parvati, I think the perception has obviously changed, and the HR folks are the ones who have changed that, right? Because earlier, as far as I remember, when I was to deal with my HR, I could only talk negative things about my HR, that they'll only enforce policies and procedures. They'll not hear me out. Whatever my manager will say, they'll do. So now I think we as HR folks have changed that altogether. We are being more empathetic and caring. We are understanding people better. We are trying to engage them. We are connecting with them one-on-one, and which is like helping us change that perception. I think Neha wants to speak now.
Yeah, hi Sakshi.
Hi Neha.
Hi. First of all, like it was a great presentation and it was quite insightful. My question would be like it's been the incident recently happened. So in the summer we have that review cycles, performance review cycle basically, and one of the employee he was expecting, and he didn't get the raise. So I was, and I would second your thought that one-on-one are really effective, because when I had a catch up with him, so he clearly told me that, Neha, I'm not very happy, with the way review happened. It was all positive, but I didn't get any raise. So I could feel on the one hand that yes, I was being empathetic to him. Yeah, as a human, he would expect, if he's doing things for him, like he's giving his 110%. But on the other side, we also know that whatever company has projected, if we even have reached 20%, 30%, so probably this is not the time, because he got it in a June review cycle as well. So how do you motivate these kind of people, like who feel that I'm putting my every effort for the achievement of the goals of company, but I'm not being rewarded at the same time?
I think one of the ways, I think I have two answers to this question. One of the ways I would have handled this situation is that I would have said to their employee, see, I understand where you are coming from, but what is it that I can do for you apart from that monetary benefit that you were expecting? Do you want to learn something? Do you want to take up any other project? Do you want to participate or collaborate with any other team member? What is it that will make you happy? The second approach would be to understand that why that appraisal did not happen, or why was it happen. If it was because of the budget, be honest with the employee. I think all of us as individuals understand that companies have budgets, right, while giving the appraisals. So tell him the longer term plan that, see, this is what we have thought for you in terms of your professional development. This is what we can do right now. But we ensure that we are gonna make it better, and then make it better. Like, don't do fake promises, make it better. Plan for their professional growth. Sit with their managers, ask them what is it that their development areas are and how can we work towards it. I think that would give him some sort of confidence in the organization.
That's what I said to him, that, just wait, because we have another review in June. So I told him that, we know that you are not satisfied. So we'll take care in the consideration, even if you want to move ahead with some other projects, or probably for the learning and development part, if you want to take up some courses, we can do that. But still I could make out from his face that he's not that into that, courses and all will not help him. It is something about monetary part, but budget and all.
Ultimately, if an employee believes in the culture, mission, vision, and values, they'll perform their 150%. And even if sometimes you might have heard stories, right? When founders were not able to pay salaries to their employees still stay with the company. Why is it that? Because they believe in the company. So ask them to believe in the company, wait for a little longer, and they'll understand. If they don't understand, then they're not aligned with the company values.
I agree. That's what he said. I'm sure he'll, think about it. But
I think he'll work it around.
Yeah.
All of us get angry at times, right, Neha? Some of us have this habit of taking it out while talking to the HR or our managers. Some of us just be silent and absorb it just like that. So he'll cope up. And I'm sure if he's the right person for that job, if he is aligned with the company values, he'll work around his way.
And Sakshi, one more thing about the engagement part, like how do we increase the remote engagement? Because we are fully remote at the moment. And most of the time,
I can tell you what we do at Masai. We also have a lot of remote employees working. What we do is we organize at least one activity in a month, which is like a 2-hour refreshing activity. And I ask people to perform. Like we do a musical night on Zoom, and I ask people to perform randomly. Some of them play guitar, some of them sing, although they sing pathetic at times, but it's just, they feel happy, right? Because they feel, most of the remote employees feel very, very left out. And they feel that nobody cares about them. And all the HR catch-ups that happen, they scare the shit out of them, because they think that either they are getting fired or it is a performance case. So make sure that we are doing something to connect with them, and apart from work, right? We play Pictionary online. Sometimes I gather teams and we play Pictionary. Sometimes we play Damsha. Sometimes we play something else. So just one activity a month, and it's just 2 hours in a month, right? It's not much. I think Shravani also wants to say something.
Hi, Sakshi. Are you
Hi,
able to hear
Shravani.
me?
Yes.
So I actually had two questions. So, like you mentioned, culture is everyone's responsibility and not just, the HR's responsibility. So, how could you encourage all of the folks, especially, maybe the upper management and everyone to sort of contribute actively towards creating a great culture?
Absolutely. So, Shravani, what we as an organization did was, and I can only tell you by my experience, I had this experience twice at different companies. What we did was, while creating the values, right, we included everyone. We did a survey that what is it that their personal value is, what is it that they believe in that the company should have as a value.
Mm-hmm.
This is first part. Now, once we have launched the values, everyone just consider it as a piece of paper, like some 5 different words written on a piece of paper, which can be used anywhere and everywhere. Nobody believes in it as such. So the key is to one, keep on cascading the values to the employees by different activities that you do. And
Right.
secondly, I would suggest create culture ambassadors out of different teams and not the senior people. I would suggest pick up junior people who actually showcase your company values and make them culture ambassadors. Let them do all the hard work. Let them only tell people that this is how they did it and this is how others can also do it.
Right, right. And my second question was, so like basically during bad times, right? Like if there are layoffs or anything like that happening, how do you still maintain a good culture? Like how would you make sure everyone's still motivated and in the like encouraged to work, and again, like the how do you maintain culture in those times?
Yeah. So it's a very, very critical situation. And we have seen that in the recent past, right? A lot of companies are laid off. So what happens to the people who are not laid off? They are obviously very demotivated and scared.
Yeah.
So the first thing that we would have done is that we will be very transparent with them. We'll tell them that this is the situation. Now, either you decide that you want to build this organization with us, get the people who are laid off back, or you decide to keep on cribbing or keep on crying or keep on being afraid that you might be laid off too. If you are aligned to the company values, you'll stand by it anytime and anywhere, right? I would probably defend Masai everywhere, even if I'm laid off, because I believe in it. I believe that whatever the decision the management or the founders would have taken would be the right decision. That trust is built over time. It is not something that will come in a day.
Right, right.
So transparency, I think, is the key here, because all of us as individuals understand the market scenario, right? It's hidden from no one. And I think social media has made it even simpler to make people aware of what is happening in the world. So be transparent, tell them the exact situation, ask them for feedback, ask them for suggestions, right? What can be done in this particular case? You tell us.
Got it, got it. And just one more question. So you mentioned that building a culture would start at the hiring phase itself. So how would you sort of create, like you mentioned that there are like these cultural fit tests sort of that a lot of candidates go through. So how would you make that sort of, how would you build that?
So the process starts from segregating it in your values, right? Some of your company values would be intrinsic. That is, that person has to come with those values inside that him or her, right? For example, ownership. Ownership, you cannot coach them. It has to come from within. Some of the values are coachable. So what you can do is the values which are intrinsic, that are absolutely mandatory in a person. which is like a complete fit. If some of the values which you see while doing a culture fit, they are not showcasing those values and those are coachable, then you can work on later with them on how to develop those values.
Got it, got it. Thank you so much. I think that answers all my questions.
Thank you. Anina also has a
Yes.
question. I think some questions are there. On this.
Yes, Akshay, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yeah. So actually, in our organizations, we have Saturdays actually working. Not all Saturdays though. We have like alternate Saturdays working.
Mm-hmm.
So after a lot of discussion, we had planned to make those Saturdays more of like employee activities, team activity, learning and things
Okay.
like that, instead of being a regular working day.
Mm-hmm.
So that the employees are not bored joining. So they have it like the first half probably working,
Okay.
and post lunch we would have different activities. So there was like team lunches thing,
Mm-hmm.
and
I lost you. Sushil.
No,
hello.
Yeah, we lost you for a minute.
Okay, am I audible now?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
So we
you
do
said
have some,
second half is team
yeah.
lunches.
So it's more, yeah, and it's more of in-house activities. So it's always been like fun activities.
Okay.
And so in this, I have 2 points. So one is I want that it be not just fun activity, but a learning activity where you have someone who's uh, putting up their skill or teaching basics of all domains.
Mm-hmm.
But none of them are interested to get into that kind of a thing to do on a Saturday. And the other thing is the all who are participating in the events are the same people. We are not able to engage in any activity where all of them are participating.
Okay.
So whatever activities, like even if it's an indoor game or something, we do have people dropping back telling, okay, so can we leave early? No, can we leave early? Can we skip this? Or we don't want to do this. So I don't know how can we have an activity or how can we do something where all the employees are equally taking part. Something like maybe something like a mandatory participation where so that we get to know what exactly they want to do or what is their interest and things like that, without literally forcing them in a crowd.
Okay. So on your first part, right, that you want to make it fun and also a learning opportunity. I would say start doing contests with a little shout out or something. I don't know if you use Slack or any other communication channel in your organization. Just give them a shout out on the entire company channel that this person solved this particular problem for the company. Make simple contests, right? Whoever, say for example, give a challenge to them that whoever solves this particular problem on how to convert more leads. So whoever solves it, just give them a shout out. Give them a shout out on their LinkedIn channel as well, which will also help you in doing employer branding, right? Everyone, so whatever talent you are looking to attract from outside, they'll also see that employees are being valued. They are doing such activities every Saturday. People are being utilized from different departments. See, this HR person has given such a great idea for converting leads, or this product marketing intern has given such a great idea on how to attract talent. So give them shout out. It will help solve both the purposes.
Okay.
It will not have any cost included in it, which is also, I think, important while doing these activities.
Yes.
Secondly, it will help you in employer branding. And thirdly, people will feel included and they'll feel that something is coming out of it. Currently, nothing is coming out of it, right? You guys come together, you guys do an activity, then go to your
They just
respective
have fun
houses.
and they just move out.
Correct. So they are not being called out, or they are not being, highlighted in the entire organization. So they don't feel like doing it every Saturday. It gets monotonous after a period of time. Nobody likes lunches every Saturday, or nobody likes to do this fun activity every Saturday. So try doing different things. Try creating contests, or do one time try doing a contest, and the second time try doing a mindshare series. Like anyone from your organization can come and teach them about something, and then give that person who actually took that responsibility to do the learning thing, give him or her a shout out everywhere.
Okay.
Do you agree?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. And on your second question, how to make it mandatory for everyone, when they'll see that everyone else is enjoying, they'll probably feel FOMO. It's actually a very trending word these days, and people are following it a lot. They'll fear FOMO and they'll start coming to your weekend lunches or your contests or your activities.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, actually.
Thank you. I think Manoj also, I have a lot of speakers. Manoj will go with you first.
Yeah, hey Suchar, hey Sakshi.
Hi.
Firstly, I want to thank you for organizing this amazing on how to build great culture. So I have few questions I wanted to cover. How can we ensure that all the employees who are working are feel included or appreciated or what we call respected in the organization?
That's your only question?
That's the first one, and the second one I can cover after once you
Okay,
answer
good.
this.
So your question is, how do we make everyone feel included and respected at work, right?
Yeah.
It works both ways, Manoj. It works top down and bottom top.
Mhm.
Like if my founder respects the intern that is working in my team, the intern will respect him back.
Mhm.
It's a give and take thing. It's not something that one person can do and the other person can't. So
Mhm.
your values have to be very, very strong. You have to make
Mhm.
sure that this is a
Mhm.
non-negotiable, right? Respect is
Mhm.
something that is non-negotiable.
Mhm.
You feel them included, ask them
Mhm.
for suggestions. Do regular surveys with your employees. Ask them that what is it that they want. If you want to do something for the employees, let them only tell you what do they want.
Right.
Correct? So they'll feel included. Once you do that survey, you'll get an analysis of what is it that the employees want the most. You'll probably do that thing, right? If
Yeah.
you do
Right.
that thing, everyone feel like, yeah, this is something that I suggested, or this is something that I suggested. See, this is done, that we are being heard. So
Mhm.
it's all about hearing them out. And
Mhm.
second thing that you can do for making them feel included is that you can have one-on-one connects with them, which is very, very important.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like you can connect to two people every day in your organization, understand how they are feeling, what is it
Mhm.
that is missing.
Mhm.
Because as
Right.
the HR people, we are the bridge between the employees and the management, right? The
Management.
management won't come to each of the person
Mhm.
and ask them how are they feeling today.
Right.
Does it answer your question? You're on mute, Manoj.
Hello.
Yes. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. So actually, so sorry, there was a network issue from my end. Am I audible now?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So another question is how can we promote a learning based culture and in the organization, and how can we measure that to make sure that how people development is happening in the organization?
Okay, so two things here. One is here money is also involved, right? One
Yeah.
is that either whether your management is willing to spend money on learning and development or not, which is like a
Right.
very fair thing.
Hmm.
If they are not, find out
Hmm.
other ways to do it.
Hmm.
Like,
Hmm.
for example, what you can do is in a month, every
Hmm.
employee can switch teams for 2 days.
Okay.
Like a HR person can do marketing work for 2 days, and
Hmm.
a product person can do HR things for 2 days. So
Right.
that they can understand how are things work in different departments in the organization. At least they'll get something out of it, right? If nothing. And it
Yeah.
will be a good experience for them.
Right. Understood.
Anything else?
No, that's it from my end. Thank you.
Thank you. Harendra, sorry to keep you waiting. Harendra is on mute. Okay, I'll move to Rinki. Do you want to ask a question or say something?
think Rinki had dropped a few questions on the chat.
Yeah, actually, but some places the HODs don't let you speak to the management one-to-one, and the management don't even know what an employee is capable for. That's okay. I'll address that question only. So Rinki's question is: some places the HODs don't let you speak to the management one-to-one, and the management don't even know what an employee is capable for. This I actually covered in my presentation. Please don't tolerate bad managers. Please give them feedback. If they are not taking your feedback, then you have to speak for yourself. Right? And management don't know what an employee is capable for. I think that's a major miss from the HR department, because they are the bridge between the employee and the management. They are not going to go to each one of the employee and check for their capabilities, right? That's what we are here for. We know each employee personally as well, and by taking their interviews professionally as well. We know their capabilities. Their managers know their capabilities, right? So managers here play a very important role in understanding what is their team is capable of, and how do they ensure that their team is growing professionally. Parvati, you want to ask? You have also written your question in the chat box, but if you want to ask something else. I think all of you are on mute today. Anina, you want to ask?
I think Rinki had another question. What about the manipulating in work culture? How can we define that?
See, it all starts from hiring. It all starts from enforcing your company values to each of the employee, right? If they believe in the values, they'll not do any such thing. But I understand that there are some people who manipulate the work culture, talk about it in company meetings, and no matter whatever you do, they are always unhappy. I would say please get rid of them.
And Parvati's question was how do HRs deal with the managers' politics?
See, managers again is a very broader term, right? In startups, mostly people are first-time managers. The growth is so fast that they are given teams under them. They are immature. They don't know what to do as a manager because they have always been in an IC role. So first step as an HR, what you can do is start training them, giving them feedback. Ask their teams without them, set up meetings with their team without them, and ask the team how do they feel about the manager, and give that feedback to the manager. I think they'll probably understand, because currently what's happening is nobody is giving them feedback apart from their own team, and their own team is also very much scared to give them that feedback. Is there any other questions, Suja?
There was a question from Pratibha, how to make sure freshers sustain in the organization culture.
For freshers, I would say learn as much as you can. Do the hard work, but also be smart. Work in all the departments, work with all the people, make good connections, network, understand how each department works. And once you do that, I think you are not a fresher anymore.
Yeah. I think that's all. Other questions have been answered. Unless Harinder and
Anina and Harinder, if they want to ask their questions, I'm not sure.
Yes, Sakshi. Am I audible?
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So I just have a question. Like we have this campus hiring happening every year.
Okay.
Okay. So as you know, with each batch, definitely there'll be a change of packages.
Mm-hmm.
Your salary packages will change.
Correct.
So now what has happened? Like for almost 2 years, we had a similar package. And compared to last year and current year, there is a change in package.
Okay.
So we already have the freshers who are just 1 year into the organization, having a comparison and telling that they are juniors to us and they are getting the same salary within 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
So even we would need a hike, and but they have agreed. We almost have a bond for the freshers also, campus batch freshers too. They have agreed, they have signed everything, but still there is this small unrest that is there because of the salary comparison. So I'm not sure. I've tried to explain to them, telling that this is the package. So as days goes, then after a certain time, like after one year, it's completely based on performance. It doesn't go with the fixed package. Only for 1 year it goes with a fixed package. But still, that initial package, no, there is a lot of comparisons, and no, they just keep getting back to me telling like, ma'am, when can we get a hike? Our juniors are almost reaching us. Next month they will get the same salary as ours. When can we get a hike? When can we get a hike? So I'm not very sure how exactly to make them understand the scenario. Like this is how it works in every organization, probably.
It does. But do you have any salary parity in your current organization? Like, do you do compensation benchmarking, or is it a startup where anyone gets anything?
No, it's not. It falls under both category basically. So, like when you have not major benchmarking, but it's mainly like for freshers, it is like they have a fixed salary package.
Okay.
As they join us in the last batch, so they will have a fixed salary package, like for probation period this much, then for the first year this much, and for the second year it's like based on performance. Up to this, you can get a package.
Got
Like
it.
up to 3.5 can be a package, is what is there as a clause.
Got it.
But
And
when
are
you
you
have
sure
lateral, they don't come under any of this category. So it's completely based on their experience and what skills they have. And that in our existing employees of the same experience and skill set, what salary they are getting is what we offer to the lateral.
Got it. Understood. So, are you sure that everyone in your organization understands how the performance appraisal works?
Yes, they do. But the point here is that as
I'm not
after
happy,
that.
I understand. So tell them to prove themselves till the performance appraisal happens, and probably it will happen better.
Yeah, I've told them that. I've already given them a review on the performance also, and I've told them like, see, this is how it is, and you do have good things, or this is you. But still,
Maybe Anina, try changing your approach, okay? And
okay.
this is just a suggestion. You may
Yeah,
follow
sure.
it, you may not follow it. Try changing it a little bit. Talk to that particular person, and I don't mean talk to them in a group. If there are like 5 people, talk to them one-on-one.
Okay.
Tell them how the performance appraisal works.
Yeah.
Secondly, ask them that how do they put themselves in that performance bucket? How do they think that they are doing in their role?
Yeah.
Then ask them what is it that they need to improve or to get better at it.
Okay.
I think half of the questions they'll only be able to answer you, and then tell them that, see, let's sit with your manager and make your growth plan.
Okay.
Wherein your manager can also give you feedback on the weaknesses or the strengths, and you can also talk to them in understanding where is it that you can improve.
Okay.
And then tell the performance appraiser, work on it. Sorry. I think if you'll have that peaceful conversation with them, no, they'll understand.
No. Okay.
All of us need to be heard. And I think the gist of this entire webinar is if people are heard, they're happy. We don't hear people often. We don't talk to them. All of us are busy in our KRAs that we don't talk to people. We are not being empathetic. We are all in the zone of getting...
The problem that I face is that I can hear, but as I am not the decision maker, we cannot give them a prompt reply as to yes.
So be transparent with them. Be transparent with them. Tell them that this is outside my area or outside my decision making, but I'm here to help you, right? I'm here to help you grow. If nobody is standing with you today, I am the one person you can completely come to and talk about it, and we'll figure this out.
Yeah, sure.
Because there's nothing that can't be figured out, right? In one or the other way. So give them that, comfort that I will be the one person that you can always reach out to, and we'll figure it out together. I may not have all the answers, but I'll hear you and we'll figure it out together.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I think we've already exceeded the time, but we have last 3 questions if you want to take.
Sure.
Yeah. So Rinki is asking, HRs always ask that what's going on in the workspace, but because of fear of reporting manager, we can't say anything.
What's going on in the workplace? But why do you fear your reporting manager, Rinki? If you can't have that conversation with your reporting manager, then it's not working for you. You and your reporting manager are individuals only, right? You can talk to them. You can go to them. Is it like whenever you go to your reporting manager, they just show you off that I don't want to talk?
Okay, so Rahul Sharma has a question: how to get your CV noticed to HRs? Slightly off topic, but yeah.
I think it should be very easy to read, and some points that we are looking for in each of the designations that we are hiring for. If it checks all the boxes, it gets noticed. Otherwise, it doesn't.
Next, Manoj has a question: how do we create a culture of recognition and appreciation where employees are acknowledged for their contribution and hard work?
Two things here, Manoj, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Manoj. Yeah, Manoj, two things here. One is that you can start with non-monetary initiatives in your organization. What we have recently started doing is anyone who creates an impact in any way, we have started doing a gratitude initiative for them. We just give them nice, colorful badges telling them that thank you for your hard work or thank you for handling it so well. You are a rock star and we appreciate what you are doing. Just some small things. Other thing that I told earlier was to highlight them in your Slack channels or in your company leaderboards or anywhere that you might think, right? The other way to look at it is through an R&R framework, rewards and recognition program. If your company allows and you have the budgets in place, please introduce R&R framework in your organization.
I think we're done with all the questions, Sakshi. Thank you so much for the webinar and taking so much questions today. And thanks to all the attendees for joining the webinar today. I think we'll just end the webinar. Thank you.
Thank you.